Bernie Sanders was pressed by Chuck Todd on the issue of the Black Lives Matter protesters who interrupted him. Let's watch.
BuzzFeed has an article out this morning. Headline is this: Sanders campaign reaches out to Black Lives Matter activists. Quote, "I apologize. It took our campaign so long." Tell me more about it.
Well, that was sent out by a staffer, not by me. Look, we are reaching out to all kinds of groups. Absolutely. I met with folks at Black Lives Matter. We're reaching out to Latino groups. We're reaching out to the unions. We're fighting to expand Social Security, and we're reaching out to senior groups. We're reaching out to healthcare groups because we believe that everybody in America is entitled to healthcare. We're reaching out to everybody. But on this issue of Black Lives Matter, let me be very clear. The issue that they are raising is a very, very important issue. And there is no candidate for president who will be stronger in fighting against institutional racism and, by the way, reforming a broken criminal justice system. Chuck, we have more people in jail in the United States of America than any other country on earth. And we need real changes. We need to do away with the militarization of local police departments. We need to do away with minimum sentencing. We need education and jobs for our young people rather than jails and incarceration.
I understand that, but you said a staffer put it out, but you felt an apology was necessary?
No, I think we're going to be working with all groups. This was sent out without my knowledge.
Fair enough.
This is definitely an attempt to divide progressives because if anybody who follows the issues, as you know, you realize that Bernie Sanders is the only one who would actually do anything actually progressive that would actually help on all these different issues, including racial issues. So what do? Divide and conquer. Take the Black Lives Matter community and you hope that it extrapolates to the rest of the black community, and you say to them, you imply to them, just don't vote for Bernie because you can't vote for Bernie because, oh, look, he may not be with you. He just said he doesn't apologize to you. But why is it that Bernie says, I'm not apologizing? Because he didn't need to apologize. He's already with you. Why would he apologize when he never did anything to piss you off? I mean, even the way that he handled the protest, he was like, okay, I'm going to let you protest. Go ahead, do your thing. So why would he have to apologize? And again, putting that aside, his policies were always in alignment with racial equality and fighting back against institutional racism. So for him to apologize would be absolutely absurd. And hey, Chuck Todd, if you want to do this segment and you want to question him about that, don't you think it's necessary to bring up the fact that there are Black Lives Matter protesters who apologize to him? Why are you omitting that? Now, it's possible you don't know that, but I mean, these are stories that were all around the internet after the incident with the protesters, where there was, I'm pretty sure that some official representatives of the movement said that's not the way we're supposed to go about this, and we apologize to Bernie Sanders unequivocally. See, that would seem to be important in the story, and by the way, there's a lot of questionable stuff in the background of those Black Lives Matter protesters. One of them used to be a Sarah Palin supporter and was a big-time social conservative. Now, it's possible that there was a total change of heart, and now, you know, she fancies herself a big-time liberal and to the left of Bernie Sanders or whatever. But it's also possible that this was just an attempt to sabotage Bernie Sanders and try to drive a wedge between the Black Lives Matter protesters and the rest of the progressive movement, where they absolutely should be and are working together. And that's the thing, man. I don't want anybody to mistake what he's saying as disrespectful in any way, shape, or form to the Black Lives Matter movement. What he's saying is, I didn't apologize, and I don't think it's necessary because I'm already with you, and I've been with you all along. Now, some people say, well, he released, a whole bunch of policies directly after the protest to say, see, I'm on your side, and a lot of people said, well, the protest worked because, look, he released the policies after the protest. But the reality is, as I've stated before, he had already proposed all those different policies at a different time. So he was already on your side. If you didn't know that he was on your side, that's not his fault. That's your fault for not following politics closely enough to know when he's 100% with you. So again, I don't want people to buy into this false dichotomy and this false fight. And I don't want people to think like, well, you know, we can't vote for Bernie Sanders because Bernie Sanders didn't kowtow to the Black Lives Matter movement. No, Bernie Sanders It wasn't necessary for him to kowtow to the movement because he already agreed with the movement from day one. So an apology isn't necessary when he's already doing the right thing. I mean, if you're angry and you're protesting because you don't think the NBA is entertaining enough, you don't go protest LeBron James because it ain't his fault that the NBA isn't entertaining enough. You go protest some shitty, backup point guard, Chris Duhon, right? He used to be point guard for the Knicks and he sucks. Go protest him if you think, well, the NBA isn't entertaining enough. You don't go to LeBron James. Same thing that we're looking at here, man. The whole idea of a protest is you should protest to get a seat at the table so you can have your voice heard and get your issues addressed. But the reality with Bernie Sanders is the seat is already open and waiting for you. So you don't need to protest him to get a seat at the table when he's saying from day one, you have a seat at the table. So let's talk and figure something out.